He said there's a lot of money to be made in the stock market, a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the only people that make money is the people that got the insider information, the people at the top of the game.
Mm.
He said it's all an inside job. They all know what's happening. Um, and that's how they make money because they know what they're going to push up, what they're going to push down. Emma said, do you foresee Australia running out of land? We have a heck of a lot of land out there. Emma, good question. Yes, Australia's already run out of land because the one thing that stops land is red tape and cost. I know a fact that most people don't get past two,
Two, yeah.
right?
I would
So
say one, but two, yeah.
if you got three properties, you're in the top 10% already. Is I like to talk about some of the deals that we did recently.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll talk about some more.
But are we on public or private, George?
We're public.
Okay. I thought you didn't want to
Are
share.
we allowed to share anything public here?
We can, but I didn't think you wanted to.
We can share one thing. Let's share something public.
You share whatever you want. Go
Let's
for it.
give people a little taste about what we do here, right? Okay. Okay, we're live. Hello and welcome to Money for Life, your Thursday night injection of property advice, not property advice, property opinions, some
Thoughts.
positivity. I've got Adam Albrecht here with me. Adam, welcome to the show.
Hello, team.
And look, good to see you back, Adam. Because I know, we haven't had you on the show for a while. It's really good to have you back, which is great.
Yes. It's nice to be
Very
back.
exciting. And you're looking really well.
Went and had a beard cut today, had my hair done.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll tell the story again anyway, because what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to be talking about property prices going up and what most Aussies are getting wrong. So make sure you tune in and you stay till the end because we've got some nuggets there. But I was just going to tell you about my little trip. So I left Bali literally at 11:30 on Monday, I think, on Tuesday, and then flew into Melbourne at 1:30 in the morning. I rock up to the Park Royal and I'm thinking I need a nightcap. So Alicia's booked me into the suite there, which is lovely. So I go there and I'm trying to open the thing up and I'm like, man, surely I could open this stupid minibar and I couldn't open it. So I ring up reception and what they do is they actually lock it and you've got to ask them to open it and they press a button and it opens automatically from reception.
Hmm.
Interesting.
It's
So I
only for
had my
special
nightcap.
guests, George. It's only for the guests that don't really trust when you check in. It's like, oh,
Yes, obviously they didn't trust me. That was the thing. So I sat at the Park Royal because I thought it was close to the airport, had a good sleep, took my niece out for dinner the night after, and then got up really early, like 5:30 this morning, and went to Geelong. And it was windy, it was cold, and the sun was in my eyes. So TV is not as glamorous as what it looks when it's on TV. We did it, but we got most done in a few takes, which was a lot of fun, and had a lot of fun with Walt because me and Walt have been doing the Build to Buy series now for quite a long time. Feels like forever, actually. And it's been really good working with him because that way you sort of build more rapport. We have a little bit more fun. I went on a little bit of a rant today. One of the things I was talking about, I was saying, most people listening are going to get really pissed off with what I've got to say, but that's the ones that need to hear it, and it should be interesting. But today we're going to talk about property classes of private climbing and what Aussies got wrong. The thing is, the one thing that Aussies get wrong, and this is universal in a lot of places, and what they get wrong is people try to time the market. That's the one thing that everyone tries to do, right? Because people get confused. They think the stock market is like the property market, but it's different, right? And I was having a chat because I was as I was flying over, I was flying over on Virgin, and we're in business class. There's 8 people in business class, and there's one toilet for 8 of us. And then I don't know how many people in the rest of the plane. They've got 2 toilets each. And all night they're going, all the people lining up to the toilet, everyone go back to their seats. Only 4 in a row can wait in line. I was like, I would hate to fly economy. That would just suck, right? Even though the business in Virgin's not that good, you still get a sore back, but it's better than waiting in line. Anyway, I was talking about catching up with Jordan Belfort because I don't know if you remember about 3 or 4 years ago, I had lunch with Jordan Belfort when I was in Melbourne. And if people don't know who Jordan Belfort is, that's the Wolf of Wall Street.
yeah.
Yeah. And the Wolf's interesting because we were talking, and I always like to talk about property and money. That's why I love catching up with these sort of people because I like this, hear the inside scoop. And I said, look, tell me about stock market because he's an expert at stock market. Like, how do you make money in the stock market? And he told me the secret. Does anyone want to hear the secret?
Don't do it.
No, no, he didn't say don't do it. He said there's a lot of money to be made in the stock market, a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the only people that make money is the people that got the insider information, the people at the top of the game.
Mm.
He said it's all an inside job. They all know what's happening. Um, and that's how they make money because they know what they're going to push up, what they're going to push down. They know when they're going to crash it. Because what they do in the stock market is they push things up where after they've invested. And then once they sell, they push them down again.
Yeah.
And really, they make all their money off the average punter. That's where all their money comes from. Because when they cash out, everyone loses all their money. And then they buy back in and keep going.
Mate, it's so funny you actually mentioned this because I got a letter in the mail today from
Yep.
the Supreme Court of Melbourne.
Oh, really?
This
Okay.
company, yeah, for some shares that I bought bloody years and years and years ago. I'm like, what
Hmm.
is this? It's a class action about shares. The directors have been found guilty of doing exactly what you've just said. So I
Yep.
bought these shares between 014 and 016, and the
Yep.
CEO has made all the fake reports and sold out and made all us people lose money.
Oh, wow. There you go.
There's a
Exactly what we're
first-hand
talking about.
example of um of me being involved in one of these.
Talk about serendipity that I talk
I
about
know
this is
people
desk.
think that we've made this up, but this is honestly
No,
come on my
but
desk
no, no, we
today.
didn't collaborate on this at all.
No,
It's interesting actually. You and I are always thinking of the same wavelength,
it's
even if we're in another
Steve
country.
Davidson's just asked. So if you go ARRIUM ARRIUM class action, I don't even know how to say it. That's the company it's all over the internet all about it. And I
Hmm.
just found out about today that I actually bought shares, forgot that I bought the shares, and now we're suing them to get our money back.
Funny
They
enough,
were
what
dodgy.
happened to me, I actually was part of a thing called Bartercard. I don't know if anyone's heard of
Oh yeah, I
Bartercard.
remember Bottleneck, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And
I'm
Bartercard
showing our age.
joined the thing called Qcoin.
Okay.
You remember that? And I actually got all these coins for free, like cryptocurrency. Anyway, the people that started Qcoin did a dodgy, and now they're getting sued as well because it went down to nothing, and they
Same thing.
they did a rug pull. Exactly, exactly.
It's
And I
like
got
what Jordan said.
got-
You have to be in the know to know what to buy. So me
totally,
just being a
totally.
normal punter, I just took a punt on a gold mine in Perth,
Yep.
and yeah, found out that they were just inflating prices. I think they went
Oh,
down for
with
about
the
$2
gold mine.
billion. Gold mine, yeah, it went down for about 2 billion, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, the thing about property, it's very different to crypto and stock market because with stock market and crypto, you're trying to time the market. But what a lot of people say, it's just a nicer way of gambling when it comes to crypto and stock market.
Mm.
But property is a different beast because it's real. You can't stop believing in property and it just disappears. Where if you stop believing in a company, it can go to zero. You stop believing in a certain cryptocurrency, it go to zero. It can't happen with property. And the one thing you don't want to do is treat property like crypto or like stock market. You don't go buy and sell and buy and sell and try to time the market, buy low, sell high. That's not the way people make money in property. The real money in property is in long-term investment holding. You
But you're
know,
also the manager, George. When you got your own property, you are in charge of that asset. Where if
that's what
we
I'm
buy
saying. Yes.
ASX or anything else, you've got people running these companies pushing
You don't know
profit
what to do.
up,
You got
pushing
no
profit
oversight.
down.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't know what they're doing. Exactly. So when you buy a property, you control it, really.
Mm,
But the number one thing you want to do in property though is you want to hold.
mm,
I feel like have you seen Braveheart?
mm.
When the Scottish are about to fight the English. And Mel Gibson comes up the front, he motivates everyone, and
Mm.
then the English are coming up, and he's like, hold,
Yeah,
hold.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like that guy talking to everyone, hold, don't sell, right?
Yeah,
Telling
that's
everyone to
right.
hold because, people should not sell property. They need to hold it because instead of timing the market, what you need to do is time the market. I mean, have time in the market
Mm,
because it's a matter of exposing yourself to the market. Now, there is a few tricks. to timing the market, right? And one of the tricks is, buying the top 100 and buying at 7 o'clock because that gives you a small advantage. And it's good, but there's macro factors that can affect you as well. That's the fact of it, right? And waiting for a dip and then trying to buy,
Mm.
when people try to do that, there's one thing that invariably happens. And I've seen this happen over and over again with people, where people are waiting for a dip and a dip doesn't come, or they miss it, and then they're outpriced the market. They can't get back in. So the one thing about property that's pretty scary at the moment, we're going through the last boom of the 20s right now. This is it. This is the final boom that we're having in the 20s. So you need to take advantage of it, for one. But two, um, people are not going to be able to afford property in the future. The Australian dream of people owning a property, that is almost finished. That's going to be an old concept. In 10, 15 years' time, they'll look back and go, wow, remember 15 years ago when people used to own property? When
Mm.
everyone's becoming a renter. And I'll tell you why I think this is going to
It's
happen.
happening now.
It's happening now, but I'll tell you why I think it's happening. Because if you look at the States, there's a lot of big companies now conglomerating, selling for billions of dollars, that are buying up huge apartment blocks and buying lots of property everywhere. So property is becoming a corporate asset in America, right? And basically, only the rich people are going to own it. BlackRock could be BlackRock. There's a few big companies that are buying all the properties and they're going to own it all. And why they're doing it is because property is the last scarce resource. So the big boys want to get their hands on it.
Mm.
And they predict that everyone in America will be renters. There's going to be no more middle class. There's going to be the wealthy, and then everyone else going to rent. And they're going to be happy, apparently, too. But me personally, I'd rather be an owner, right, than a renter. That's the fact of it. And look, I'm all for rent vesting because, renting where you want to live and investing where you want to live. But I believe in owning property because it's the last scarce resources available, you know. Because even gold, you think gold's scarce, right? Because it is scarce. If you got all the gold together, it would actually fill up a square on a tennis court. That's it. One tennis court. That's it. With all the gold in the world. And you think about how many people wear gold. But what happens with gold is something different, though. There's gold everywhere, but it's too expensive to take out the ground, too expensive to take out the water. Even seawater, it's got gold in it. Every single bucket of seawater has got a certain percentage of gold, but it's not worth doing it. But if the gold price goes up, then what happens is gold mines start opening up and people start using new techniques because it makes it more worthwhile. So you increase the supply of gold, where you can't really do that. The only time you can increase the supply of property is like in Dubai when they actually create land in the sea, like the palms that
Yeah,
they did.
that's pretty expensive land.
Very expensive land. Yeah, like you've got to be like a billionaire to own property there. But that's how they do it. And you can see how rare land is because when you create land out of nothing, it costs a lot of money.
Mm.
Because I think the Dutch did it as well with dikes. They reclaimed land as well. And Singapore did it. Singapore reclaimed a bit of land. So some people do produce land, but it's very, very expensive. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. So I guess the one thing people try to time the market, that's one big mistake people make. And what's happening now is people getting a lot of FOMO. And the other mistake people are doing is they're not doing their research and getting their numbers right and just jumping in too quick. And that's a mistake too, because you really want to get your numbers right. You want to do your research and you want to make sure that you're not buying at 11 or 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock on the property clock. Because if you do, then it's just harder to get the equity. Right?
You'll still get it. It's just going to take longer.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, if you wait long enough, they did this study, and Emma said, "Do you foresee Australia running out of land? We have a heck of a lot of land out there." Emma, good question. Yes, Australia's already run out of land because the one thing that stops land is red tape and cost,
Mm.
right? And that's the thing because land is not real land. Um, land. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, got you.
I can't hear you because Christina's got her AirPods on. And I've got
Yeah,
her.
we can hear. Yes. Can you see my head?
Right. Let me just turn off Bluetooth. I cannot have this happening to me. Okay, great. The beautiful part about when you travel and you don't bring your laptop. I knew it was a good idea. It was a great idea. I thought, save myself 3 kilos, and then suddenly I'm racing around trying to get Christina's laptop working. Yeah. So what we're talking about, I want to get back to my train.
Land, the cost of land develop
Yes, yes, because there's a
after
lot of red
being
tape,
opened.
and red tape stops you from developing land. Also, it costs money. There's a lot of fees, a lot of fees, and you can get land for nothing, but it's still going to cost so much to produce. Because people think, wow, get cheap land and you can just make so much money. But no, the expense of producing it, getting all the legal paperwork and from the council and everything, cost a fortune. And we know that because we do that.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And you'd be surprised how much it costs.
Even with council contributions, they've gone up from sort of 15,000 to 25 to 30,000 per block just to pay the council just for subdividing a block of land.
Yeah. So imagine you got land and it
Power,
costs,
water, sewage, NBN.
yeah, yeah, you got everything like that. So that's the way it is. So the fact of it is, even though Australia's got a lot of land, like on a map, it's not usable land because to make it usable, it needs to be in the right area. But two, you need to get council approval. You need to go through all the red tape and you need to make it available. So that's the challenge, which is fascinating, really, when you think about it. Yeah. So that's the other thing when it comes to property that people are making the mistake of just getting the wrong property, right? Because if you get the wrong property, this could set you back 10, 15, 20 years. And a lot of people don't realize that because people think you buy a property, it's going to go up. Um, in Melbourne, CBD, the units, on
Yes.
average, the last 10 years, if you bought a unit in Melbourne CBD, the average unit lost 47% of its value in the last 10 years.
Yep.
So imagine that you buy it, you hold it for 10 years and lose 47%.
Yeah. I've got a good friend of mine who's a doctor in Melbourne, and he thought he was doing the right thing. He bought in Melbourne Docklands and he
Yep.
sold it last year for a loss. He's
How
held
long
it
did
for,
you have it for? How long did you
yeah,
have it for?
over 10 years, probably
Yep.
12 years, 13 years
Yep.
in the
Yep. And
Docklands.
you know what annoys me? And I'm not going to mention their name. There's a big property company, and that's all they tell their clients to buy
Mm.
is units in Melbourne CBD. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I know who you're talking
They
about.
do a lot of properties. I just imagine all their clients hanging around for 10 years and then end up losing money
Mm.
because just there's no money in it. It's crazy. Yeah. So getting the right property is important and not getting into FOMO is very important.
Mhm.
How about you make your own suburb? Yes, call it George Markoski. I don't know. I don't know George Markoski would be a good marketing for the suburb. I'd call it something like the Palm Springs or something, really nice. When
Well,
everyone is renting because they can't buy, where will rental prices be? Yeah. So look, if the big
supply and
corporates come,
demand.
okay, the deal is if big corporates buy all the properties, the rental price will go up because they'll push them up because they'll have a monopoly. And I'm against that. I'd rather, this is part of the reason I've got positive property because I want us to actually own property. And, you know, our members, I want you guys to be the top 1% of property investors in Australia. And you will be. And a lot of you already are, which is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty exciting that we've got so many people that are the top 1% of investors in Australia in our group. And
Mhm.
everyone else is following, which is awesome. We should be
How
very
many properties do you need to have to be in the top 1%? Do you know the actual numbers?
Well, I know a fact that most people don't get past two,
Two, yeah.
right?
I would
So
say one, but two, yeah.
if you got three properties, you're in the top 10% already.
Yeah.
Right? It gets really rare. So, most people own one. There's
Yeah.
a few people that own two. Once you
Mm.
get past two, it's very rare. But then you got to look at this. 2/3 of people lose money in property anyway, right? So it doesn't matter how many you own. If you're losing money, I mean, I don't care if I've got 20 properties. I'm losing money. Probably 20 is worse than one. You're better
What's
off.
the point?
You're
What's the
better off
point of
having
having
one
them?
and losing money than 20, right?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So the fact of it is, a lot of people aren't making money out of property because they go and do a course and then think they can do it themselves, or they educate themselves on YouTube. They watch a few YouTube videos and think they're property experts and go and do it themselves, right?
Mm.
The thing is, the market's way too sophisticated to do that. Back in the 80s, maybe you could have got away. Well, there was no YouTube then anyway, but you could have got away with making mistakes because there wasn't a lot of competition. But at the moment, investing in property is very competitive. And by the time things are, by the time you get a property, it's very hard to get the right property because most of the good deals are gone before they come to retail anyway.
Mm.
Because, if you're part of a buyer's group like us, we talk to developers and we've got the next 4 years planned out.
5 years.
5 years planned out, So we're looking at a 5-year timeline here, right? So
But that's also exclusive stock for us too. It's not stock that
well,
gets released to the open public.
that's what I'm saying. We've got exclusivity and we've already planned out what we're taking. So we've got thousands of properties already set up
Mm.
and in the right price range, which is good because that's the important part too. You know, you want to get the right price range and really get the right deal.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's fascinating with the rental crisis, what's happening at the moment. I think it's like 450,000 people a year coming into Australia, and we've got a minus 300,000 properties. It's pretty crazy. And
Mm.
this morning, when I was on Buy to Build on the TV show, I was talking about how, what was fascinated because I said, look, people are not going to own property in the future in 10 or 15 years' time.
Yeah.
And the people that get in now are going to think, wow, thank God I got in when I got in. And everyone's
Mm.
going to go, wow, because like, my father moved to Australia in the 70s and he bought one property. And I say to him, like, why? How much did you pay
Yeah.
for it? Like
So true.
$2,000? I go, why did you buy more? Please, for the love of God, I wish I could go back in time and say, buy more. Well, everyone watching this, your kids in the future, they're going to look back at you and go, my God, why didn't you buy more property?
Mm.
Don't you reckon?
For sure.
They definitely are.
I even look back. I even look back five. I even look back before COVID and wish I'd bought more.
Adam, I always wish I bought more, but
Yeah.
that's the way it is. But, you've got to keep buying.
Mm.
How good is exclusivity? Don't you want to be in owner-occupied suburbs rather than investor-dominated suburbs? I bet there's a balance there. We don't want to be in either. You need a balance because if you got a property and only owner-occupied, the problem is you don't have a rental market, right? Which makes it hard. If you got only renters, the problem is you don't have owner occupiers, so that's not good either. So actually, you need the right mix, and it's about the right mix. That's the funny. So I stay away from pure rentals or pure owner occupier. I like having the right mix of people because I need a market of people that are going to rent, but also need owner occupiers that maintain the suburb and bring it up. So there's two
But
things.
also in our estates, have got a large proportion of owner occupiers and investors. It's not just a whole place of just investment properties.
No, no, you wouldn't do that. It's like, you know, you gotta get that mix because the mix is important. It's a bit like, when you look at mono farming, when they just plant soybeans all across, it's not good for the dirt, it's not good for the ecosystem. But you have these new biodynamic farms, they've got different types of plants, they got animals there. It's just much healthier, it's a better ecosystem. So the ecosystem is important because that's what creates the growth. And when we do our reports, we look at family score, community score, and things like that. If you go to just a rental place that's pure rental, you're not going to get a good family score. You're not going to get a good community score. It's going to be terrible. And so that's why we look at those sort of things because the community score and the family score for a suburb really builds the long-term growth and wealth. And that's why sometimes when I see a good family and community score, even if it's low affluence score, I don't mind because affluence can change really quickly and easily. But the community and family score can't. That's more difficult to change. So that's why you look at certain factors when you do that. That's all. Yeah. So
Should we be going to our next group?
what time is it?
6:31.
7:02. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, we've got half an hour.
Yeah, but don't
Well,
we do
yeah,
half an hour?
Yeah, we're going to go in our private group soon. But what I want to do is I like to talk about some of the deals that we did recently.
Hmm.
Then we'll talk about some more.
But are we on public or private, George?
We're public, public.
Okay. I thought you didn't want to
Are
share.
we, are we allowed to share anything public here?
We can, but I didn't think you wanted to.
We can share one thing. Let's share something public.
You share whatever you want. Go
Let's
for it.
give people a little taste about what we do here, right?
Well, we
Okay.
can talk about Caboolture because there's a good story for us all.
Okay,
So,
let's talk about Caboolture. I'd like to break this down. Let's talk about Caboolture.
okay,
Let's
so about 18 months ago, we had 44 members put their name down for a townhouse in a place. Can I say the suburb?
yeah, too
Yes, a
late.
suburb called Caboolture.
You
They
said it
paid
3 times already.
$530,000 for it. They're due to settle in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks' time, and they're
Yep.
now selling for 644. So those
Okay. So
people who put their name down,
let's do the numbers. So what are they selling for now?
644.
644, and they
Yeah.
paid
530. So they, 110, 115.
115 grand.
Yep.
And when did
18
they
months
sell?
ago. They've put a 10%
Yep.
deposit down, so they put $50,000 down.
Yep. So 50,000 deposit and 114 grand to make that. That means that's a 200%, just over 200%
You've doubled their
in the
money.
money. They
Because they've
doubled the money.
also, I think we quoted around that low 500s for the rental, and they think they're renting out at 570 from what I last heard.
There you
So they're
go.
getting more, they've made
Boom.
money, plus they're getting more money on the rental on the cash flow calculator.
Okay. Anyone in the group here that bought one of those? If you have, type in the chat, type in me. I'd love to know.
So it's called Stone Park in Caboolture. I don't know. There you go.
Okay,
Oh,
Craig and
okay, there's
Tanya,
another one. There's another
Nick
one.
got one. Well done. You
I hope you
made some
guys are ready
money.
for settlement.
David, too good. Me, yes, nice work. I've got 3 people here that actually bought one. Oh, we got Brian as well,
Stage
stage
two.
two.
Yeah, well, you're
Fantastic. Claudio
Claudia.
got
Yeah.
one. Look at that.
Well, you've all
And
made good money. But
me, but I'm in stage two. Okay, missed out.
I
Yep.
missed out
We
too.
did.
Don't
We
worry
did.
about it.
Nice work. Yeah, great. So we got quite a few people in here, which is great. All the rest of them, they're having margaritas and they're probably on holiday because they made so much money. And
Yeah.
that's why. And look, the thing is, if you think about this, right? You know, they've made 114 grand in 18 months, a year and a half. That's someone's wage for a year, 114 grand,
Yeah. But all they
right?
did was just
That
put
you
their
got to
name
work
down,
for. And they just put their name down and put a deposit, and that's it,
sign the contract.
right? So it's pretty amazing. That's awesome. That's
Mm.
really good. So, Adam, now that we've shared a little bit of secret to the public group, thank you, everyone. We're going to go in our private group and go in and talk more strategy and things like that. So, Kimberly, if you can shut off the group. Now, what I was going to say is if people watching the live stream outside of the group, if you want to make sure that you take advantage of this boom, type in hashtag boom and my team will reach out to you and see if we can help you. Because if you've been watching us for a while, you're sitting on the fence, now's the time to get off the fence and really do something. That's what I suggest you do.